Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm not a person who, in the face of a situation that is, I would say, extreme, likes to cause panic. On the contrary, in this kind of situations, you try to be as calm as possible and look at the circumstances in the coolest head, if you have, as possible. And it doesn't mean that you should just sugarcoat what you observe and what you assess. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say things as I see them, and I have to tell you calmly that the situation is like this. We have a bunch, I think, of crazy people who don't care about anybody and anything but their own interest, and they are willing to sacrifice anything and everybody to reach their goals. Now, this group of people could have religious tendencies, could have, and they have, monetary advantages and interests, financial, and paranoia. No, the grandiomaniacs, people who are just looking in the grandeur, they are the ones. This group of people are definitely dragging this world in anything they want to reach their goals. Unless it touches them a bit. They're not strong people, they're not courageous people. They hide behind and they put others to do their dirty job. We have a group of people of interest who really don't care about anything and anybody, including you, your family. I'm going to show you here a few articles. Trump and the guys behind Trump have no problem, and they will cause the destruction of this planet if the other side allows them. Let me show you a few articles here. Israel says Iran was racing towards a nuclear weapon. US intel says it was years away. So who do you trust? First, I don't trust either of these guys. Zero. It's very strange that they oppose these guys. I want you to figure out who the groups are. Second, Israel uninterested in Russian mediation of conflict with Iran. There is. Why do you think it's so? They have to reach their goal. Have you seen Gaza? Take Gaza as a model, as a, how do you call it, in a laboratory model. Even though it's not a laboratory model, tragedy occurs over there. Look what these guys did, these guys that I'm talking about. And I'm not pinpointing to a certain group. There's from many groups going to one direction. Take Gaza as an example what has been done over there. First, it was surrounded, as many call it, a concentration camp. The water was shut off and the food was shut off. I think electricity as well. For some time. And then they say they struck surgical targets to strike Hamas, who was hiding everywhere where these guys found them. In the hospitals, in the kindergartens, under women's skirts, in the children's underwear, and so on. Just look at Gaza. Flattened. Now that is the model that Iran and whomever dares to stand against these guys, and I'm not talking about Israel. Israel is one of them, of many. From pluribus unum, from many one. So they're not interested. They were not interested in Gaza as well. All those, we're going to negotiate, the Americans were going to negotiate. As I said it was just smoke screen for us, for you, the imbeciles out there, who thought they're going to negotiate. And I claimed, until Israel reaches its goal in Gaza, nobody will move a finger. And here it is. They're not interested in mediation. Why? Because they want to go ahead to do what John Bolton wants, for instance. Here's a good example to see what he wants about Iran. Now, let's move to the next one. Donald Trump says, and I'm quoting, "I don't care what she said." Trump dismisses Tulsi Gabbard's Iran claims. So Tulsi Gabbard, if you remember, she is the chief director of national intelligence. She is the chief national intelligence. She is the one that all the information comes to her and she tells it further. And he says, "I don't care what she said." She said Iran was very close to obtaining a nuclear weapon, US President Donald Trump said. His own intelligence says it was years away. Let me read this one. When Israel launched its series of strikes against Iran last week, it also issued a number of dire warnings about the country's nuclear program, suggesting Iran was fast approaching a point, for about 50 years they were still approaching, of no return in its quest to obtain nuclear weapons, and that the strikes were necessary to preempt that outcome. So they did it for us. They sacrificed, like, you see the Hollywood movies. But US intelligence assessments had reached a different conclusion. Not only was Iran not actively pursuing a nuclear weapon, it was also up to 3 years away from being able to produce and deliver one to a target of its choosing, according to 4 people familiar with the assessment. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I know something about chemistry. Not an expert, but I know that in order to enrich it from 60%, where they say the Iranians are, to over 90% where you need for nuclear weapons, it takes sometimes not like this. Take Trump wants something, and he doesn't want Iran not to have a nuclear weapon. That's not the goal. That's the set goal. The goal is further down. After Iran, what is Iran supposed to do? They said it. We will not have a nuclear weapon. What else you want? You want to do the same thing you did with Saddam Hussein? We want to check your country. The same thing they did to Gaddafi. We want to check your country. Where are they now? And the same people were behind this. So let's move further. US President Donald Trump has said he believes that Iran was very close. You believe based on what the fuck? You believe on what? Your national intelligence is telling you what? Right here? 3 years away? Where is it? 3 years away? And you believe? I believe a pig is flying. In late March, Gabbard said that US intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has authorized a nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003. When asked about the stance of his spy chief by journalists on Tuesday, Trump replied, I do not care what she said. I think they were very close to having them. Based on what the pula mea fucking information you based your fucking shit. So, this is the guys threatened to kill him or his family. Who acts like this? Who acts like Trump? And I have more. I'm not over. Who acts like this? So you have I'm not for that agency. I'm not for that one. But you have them. This is what you have to rely on, good or bad. That is your guys, like an engine. You have a car. You have an engine, you have tires, you have a steering wheel, you have direction, you have a gas tank. Now, if the gas tank tells you, the gauge tells you you're low on gas, that means you're fucking low. That is the way you know if your car has gas or not. There's other ways too. But the authorized, the normal functioning of the car telling you is the gauge in your gas tank. And he said, I don't care what the gauge says on my dashboard. Okay, I'm okay. What tells you? Who tells you? Is the wheel that tells you? Is the body of the car? Is the steering wheel? Is the horn? Pop, pop, pop? What tells you? What gauge? Where do you get your information from? I would like to know where Trump gets his information. I think they were very close to having them. Who told you that? You can't say Israel because that's not your agency. Mossad, no, they are not. These are yours. That's another car that tells you that you are low on gas. Okay? So you tell me, based on what this guy says, I don't care what she says. But she's the gauge. You can say, I don't trust her. I don't trust the gauge. But I don't care. And I think they were very close. Based on what evidence? This guy, who acts, I'm going to lose my marbles here. Who acts like this? I tell you who acts like this. A person who's a fanatic, who really wants something to happen to Iran based on, I don't know what, religious convictions, hate, whatever it might be against that entity, an ideology that you have to conquer the world and be in charge, or religious fanaticism, or it's someone who's threatening you. So you either believe in this because of your own reasons, and they're not reasons, this thing, or someone else puts pressure on you and you don't want to and you're desperate. You say, I don't care, anybody, anything, just do that now. This is Trump. Is he threatened? Is his family threatened? What's going on behind the scenes? It's no other way. He wants it or he doesn't want it. If he wants it, how can you want it? Why do you want it? Based on what? What kind of convictions? If you don't want it, then why do you say these kind of things? It must be something that really, really, really scares the shit out of Trump to say, I don't care, just do it, everyone. Just do it, someone. Next. Now, Tulsi, one of the not many Democrats that I liked. Why? Because she was balanced. Yeah, she was a little bit too pacifistic. Okay, but she was logical, especially for, you know what I mean. Anyway, so let's go to the next one and look at this one. Russia Today. Trump calls Tucker Carlson kooky over Israel-Iran position. The conservative talk show host has been criticizing warmongers who advocate U.S. involvement in hostilities. U.S. President Donald Trump blasted conservative talk show host Tucker Carlson on Monday, calling him kooky, after the journalist questioned Washington's support for Israel following its strikes on Iran nuclear facilities. This is what he says. This is what Trump says. This is supposedly the logic. Somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, Trump wrote on his social media. The point is this. If Iran tomorrow, let me give you this scenario. I guarantee you that 100%. If tomorrow Iran allows the Americans to come, Iran destroys its nuclear program entirely, gets its energy that is entitled to only by gas, oil, and the water dam electricity okay? That's it. Destroys it, dismantle it. I guarantee you these guys will want something else after that. They will say, no, you're still not good enough. I guarantee you that. Now, who are these people? Why Trump goes against Tucker? I guarantee you that Melania, if Melania is for him is let me think something that he might. I don't think he respects anybody. Trump. I don't think Trump respects anybody. I thought that maybe he has a kind. I liked Trump to a certain extent. I said, you know what? But this shows to me a person who has really no. Why? No. Let me finish the sentence though. No, I don't want to say moral compass. He can love you today if you suck his dick, but if tomorrow you don't, he hates you. You're the worst person in the world. What kind of people are these? But you're the same person. So if today you say, Donald Trump, I don't think that's right. Emily's an imbecile. Emily would be crazy. If tomorrow I say, you're right, Donald. Emily is the most fantastic guy, man. He knows what he's talking about. Who does this? I met people like this in my world, but they were little fuckers. They were not presidents and billionaires. And this guy is playing with an atomic war right there. What happened to Trump? Who is behind all this? Who is maneuvering this guy? As I said, either fanaticism or is some threat to his personal life. I saw him when he just turned around many times. There are examples many times when today you're a nice guy for him, tomorrow if you dare to criticize him, you're the worst person. All of a sudden, I don't know if that happened in your life, but it happened to me once when I had a girlfriend and my girlfriend loved me. I have no problem with her, just so you know. She loved me. And the next day, she said, I don't love you anymore. Okay, what happened? Well, I don't know. I don't love you anymore. So, I don't know, I must have done something, but with that, you change everything? And then the next day she left me again. What's going on here with Trump? I mean, really, I definitely, if he is at these guys' orders, I hope that he has no power. I hope he has no fucking power. I hope that when he says to the Pentagon or whomever is over there and says, go and strike Iran, I hope these guys, I was about to say something, come and talk him out of it. That is, having him in a room and don't let him get out. Don't have him make phone calls anymore. That's it. And freeze everything. And allow those imbeciles over there on the occupied territories to see how they will deal with Iran. And they will, because they will activate the imbeciles. I'm going to show you. Right here. Reuters. G7 expresses support for Israel, calls Iran source of instability. And G7 are these guys. What's going on here? These guys, listen to what they say. G7 statement condemns Iran, support Israel. You got it? And it says somewhere that they will defend, where is it? Right there. We affirm that Israel has a right to defend itself. Everyone has it, but there are limits in defending yourself. We reiterate our support for the security. That means these imbeciles will get in a war with Iran and whomever is behind Iran, if they want to, in order to save and defend that entity. My friend, what is this? And I'm not done. Right there. Iran is the principal source of regional instability and terror. That is not true. I don't think that's true. The statement said, clear that G7 was clear that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Can Israel have a nuclear weapon? These guys we have over there, and we are their bitches. We are their bitches. We depend on them. These guys can start shit that will affect us forever. Not them, unless Russia sends a few missiles and takes these guys a little bit. You know what I mean? That's it. If they're gonna do that, maybe these guys wake up. They think, you see, if actions have no negative consequences, sometimes they will do everything they want. If I go and smack people around whenever I want, however I want, and whomever I want, I will do it again and over. Why? I am not accountable for any of my actions. Nothing. Who's going to do anything to me? I can do whatever I want. Do you understand that? Iran is not my friend. I don't care about Iran. I care about them as human beings, and I think by that, we are used like bitches. And these guys think of us as gnats, little flies. That's not even. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Who is behind all this? This is crazy. Remember, Trump, to say that, I don't care what you said, this guy is a kook. No, I think they're close. My intelligence services says they're not. If you think as a human being like that, you should not be in charge of a duck catching operation in Montana. Okay, that's it. You should not be. He's the president of the United States of America. This is an important matter. What's going on behind the scenes that these guys can say these kind of things? I don't want, let's say, Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want Israel to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want anybody to have a nuclear weapon. Let's put it this way. But let's say they have it. But you tell me these guys cannot, but these guys can? And we go into that because they could build one when these guys probably most likely have it? And you ask me to be fair? That's unfair, right there. Don't call yourself, oh, we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. That's not it. That's not it. Again, this is not the main thing. The main thing, these guys want Iran to be put in line like a vassal state like the rest of them by the same fucking forces. Who are the forces? Nobody calls from the West to change Israel's leaders. Why not? They call it democracy. Don't make me fucking laugh. It's as much of a democracy as Iraq is. And remember, we brought democracy to Iraq, remember? When we did the same thing to Saddam Hussein, we found nothing, and we said, while we are at it, we're going to bring freedom and democracy. And then we left because mission accomplished. Remember George Bush? Mission accomplished? Mission accomplished. What? That means they have freedom and democracy. So when you hear these fuckers saying, Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, that's a lie. That's a lie. Iraq is one too. And Afghanistan, because we brought it. If you want to consider Afghanistan and the Middle East. Anyway, here is my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The situation is bad. And I think it's going to get worse. Now we'll see if people with brain, adults, will solve the problem. And it seems like Donald Trump is the problem at this point. We'll find out. I don't know through what kind of hoops he has to jump. So I don't want to be too harsh. I can be much harsher. Believe me that from what I said. Through what kind of hoops he has to jump to keep it at least to this level. But pula mea, you're 80 years old in whatever, you show up and say, this is it, my friends. Remember when two guys, I don't like them, but they are there, all right? General Eisenhower and John F. Kennedy. When Eisenhower had his little speech about the military-industrial complex in 54 or whatever that was fucking courageous. But he was leaving the office. He was old already. He didn't say that while he was in the office. He would have been no problem at that time, remember? But he said it. He had the courage to say military-industrial complex. He said it. Then you got John F. Kennedy, remember when he said the secret societies that operate in the shadows and the secrecy? That was courageous shit, but he didn't name them. The other guy named them. So you see, the truth started being a little bit like this all the time. From naming them, not to naming them, not even talking about them, and then telling that those are actually the good guys. And Trump should come over and say, you know, this is what's going on, my friends. Without preparation. This is what's going on. I would just make a live, how do you call it? Media, whatever it's called, press conference with all the media in the world. I will make it. And I will not tell my baboons what's all about. And when I'm going to go over there, I'm going to say, okay, this is it. You got AIPAC, you got this guy, you got that guy, you got this guy. While everybody, so you can be boo-boo, maybe you are in the meantime, I don't know. And he's going to say, this is what it is. Now, kill me. That's what I would do. I'm 79 years old. Do I think I'm going to live forever? Live like a bastard or live like a hero? I will go and say, this is how things are actually ran. You see that family, the banking family that everybody talks about? It's true. They are in charge. Oh, you talk about the British Crown? Yes, they are the guys. And plus the childs. You remember what I mean by childs? Okay. Red childs. Red in German. Okay. And not only. Roth. Not Roth. So not only tell us who's who, what's what. Tell us about the FBI. You must know. If you don't know, get the fuck out. Leave someone who knows. And I will have this press conference and I'm not boom boom live on TV like JFK. Then at least I'm going to be after that. But tell the fucking world who's in charge. Why don't you say that? Why don't you do that? He's not doing that. If he doesn't know, it's bad. If he knows it and he doesn't, it's also bad. He's afraid of his life. Well, okay. The problem is, I'm not in his shoes. So I might be like a lion here, foaming at my mouth. But once you are in a situation, you think about your children, about your wife, your your girlfriends. No. But come over and do it. That's what I would do it. Now, but I don't know if I would do it if I would be in the circumstance. I'm all sweaty, Jesus Christ. That's why it's not normal what's going on. It's not normal, and we are 1 second from, I think, the biggest crime in the world's history. Yeah, Second World War, yeah, 6 million. Okay, fuck off with that one. I think this is going to be bigger than that one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's not only bigger, it's right there. And they tell me about that guy telling the guys, oh, I want the Auschwitz, yeah, I want the Sudetenland, and I want the Danzig corridor. Give me. You talk about that guy? That guy was a fucking retard compared with these guys. They talk about countries, just go in like that, no problem, man. And they tell you they're good, the same as the other guys. At least the other guy said, you know what, we do it for us. When that guy, when that guy said, I'm gonna do this, he did it for his people. Trump is not even doing it for us. That's even fucking worse. It's worse. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.